I faced a pretty difficult time in my life for a while, working hard every day at a job that didn't make me happy. Along with dealing with difficult co-workers and a rocky relationship, I had to deal in this setting with a variety of people telling me what to do and what not to do. I honestly felt pretty bad about everything because I knew I was losing control of my life. I felt like I was in the middle of a never-ending hard fight every day. One of those days, I was browsing YouTube without a plan when I came across an interesting video called How Stoicism Can Transform Your Life. It was based on a book by modern philosopher Ryan Holiday. That's when I learned about Stoicism, which I'm very thankful for. Without planning to, I started to use its ideas in my daily life, learning the topic more and reading different books. My life started to change at that moment. I became so interested in this philosophy that I decided to share it with others after reading more than a dozen books on the subject. Anxiety and stress began to transform into inner peace and calmness. I was able to make decisions that were more consistent with my values and virtues. I started to find more purpose in each day, which was the most important thing. I want to share with you how Stoicism can transform your lives right now. Let's look at what this philosophy is based on and how it can be used in the modern world. We'll also talk about how these ideas can help you face the task of making your life more important again. So, if you're ready to go on this journey of self-discovery and transform through Stoicism, I invite you to stay with me until the end of this video. It's going to be one of the most thought-provoking videos on this channel. Let us begin my journey into Stoicism, which will be a light in the darkness of my life. In taking in the teachings of great Stoics like Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Zeno, I entered a world of great wisdom. To put it simply, Stoicism is a way of thinking that focuses on developing morality, self-mastery, and understanding. Our reactions and views are within our control, even though we can't change what happens in the outside world. We now have a powerful tool to help us deal with the many problems we face in life. One important part of Stoicism is being able to tell the difference between what we can change, like our thoughts, actions, and decisions, and what we can't, like outside events and other people's points of view. The wisdom of Stoicism tells us to focus our efforts on things we can change instead of things that can't be changed. However, this philosophy goes beyond just ideas. It gives us practical ways to live our daily lives that help us deal with stress, anxiety, and depression, make decisions, and find real, lasting happiness. In this video, we'll talk about Stoicism's main ideas and how they can be used in real life. We will talk about how important it is to follow our core values, such as morality, courage, acceptance, and acting in a way that is consistent with those values. This video has helpful teachings and advice for anyone who has ever felt like life is too much, wondered how to find calm in the midst of chaos, or looked for ways to improve their perspective. Being stoic could be the key to a fresh start in your life and lead to a fuller, more important existence. That being said, it's important to remember that this philosophy is only meant to help you. You are the one who needs to take action. You must also engage in this transformation. No philosophy can fully transform you. Follow along on this journey to become a true Stoic by subscribing to the channel and turning on alerts. Let's move forward and find out how this old but still very important philosophy can change our lives, just as it did for me. Imagine being able to start over in your life by pressing a button that would erase everything. Are you going to do it? Restarting doesn't always mean ignoring or forgetting the past. In reality, it's about learning from past experiences and using that wisdom to create a better, more hopeful future. Things that get in the way become the way, as Marcus Aurelius told us. He told you, take the next step. That's all you need to do. You can start over, but you have to find the right mix between learning from your mistakes and moving on with new hope. Our responses to events reflect our perception of them. We defend ourselves when we think the world is dangerous. Our deeds, however, reflect our love if we approach it with kindness. Stoicism pushes us to question and change our perception of life so that we can see reality clearly and objectively without letting our emotions cloud our judgment. So said Seneca, "We often suffer more in our imaginations than in reality." There are times when pain is caused by something that hasn't happened yet or only appears in our minds. What if we saw every obstacle as a personal opportunity? True Stoics don't see problems as fates. They see them as ways to make the spirit stronger. This could lead us to a new path that leads us even farther than we were before. They tell us that just as fire cleanses gold, hardship makes strong people, strengthening and improving us day by day. They encourage us to view challenges as opportunities for growth. I believe in Stoicism because of this. Everything that happens to us can change who we are in the end. This is what's so great and important about Stoicism. In his meditations, Marcus Aurelius didn't want the world to read his words. Rather, he wanted to reflect on his inner thoughts and daily lessons to live a real and meaningful life. They show that the way we talk to ourselves is very important to our lives. So, we need to be friends with ourselves. While I'm not saying we shouldn't have friends, I am saying that we should value our own presence wherever we are and find happiness in ourselves, not in other people. Dependence on the happiness of others can be the worst trap. Like happiness, pain, success, and failure, Stoicism teaches us that everything is temporary and tells us to live with distance, appreciating important moments, but always ready to let them go. Epictetus tells us that everything costs something. Pick what you value and be ready to give up the rest. It's not easy to become a Stoic, but the journey is very worthwhile. In hard times, it teaches us to value ourselves, find strength, and live with a purpose. It can be difficult to deal with disrespect or other difficult situations quietly, but it's essential for a happy life. Stoicism stresses how important it is to live in balance with both the outside world and our own inner selves. Am I acting in line with my true desires and principles, or am I just reacting to what other people expect of me? Remember that our thoughts shape our lives and that we are always changing. A lot of the time, we forget who we really are when we try to please other people. Stoicism tells us to know our own worth, regardless of what other people think. Being free means not giving in to other people's will, as Epictetus said. To put it another way, you are the key to becoming a new person. Accepting doesn't mean giving up your job. It involves behaving wisely and understanding reality. Acceptance entails acknowledging what is outside of our control while still having the ability to respond to these events. Understanding reality and choosing how to deal with it are the key components. We learn to dance in the rain instead of waiting for the storm to end. We only really have the present moment. In the present, the past is a memory, and the future is an unknown. Right now is where real power is. We can't enjoy the present because we're too busy thinking about the past or worrying about the future. This keeps us stuck in a negative loop. The Stoics didn't just talk about their philosophy, they tried to get better, learn new things, and grow every day. What do we want to leave behind? Stoicism teaches that what we do, not what we say, is what leaves a mark on the world. We don't measure life by how many breaths we take, but by the moments that make us gasp for air. Remembering the power of silence, both internal and outward, is important in a world where people often try to take advantage of us. We can get clear, find our purpose, and connect with ourselves more deeply when we are quiet. We can reflect, rest, and concentrate on what's essential in this place. We understand that letting go of what holds us back, whether it's an old grudge or an inaccurate perception of ourselves, is often the key to moving forward after listening to Epictetus's advice. Don't explain your philosophy, live it. Stoicism allows us to find the freedom to reach our full potential. The happiness we experience depends on the quality of our thoughts. Valuing virtue, which is the good that shows up in our deeds, more than money, power, or fame, means being honest, kind, and trustworthy. On our journey, we need to reflect on the virtues we are developing. Stoicism tells us that what's essential isn't what happens to us, but how we react to it. As Zeno of Citium reminds us, not important things should waste your time. Always try to change, because that's how a new you can come along. Every obstacle presents an opportunity for growth, learning, and development. When we were younger, the future seemed like it could go in any direction. As Epictetus said, in life, it's not about avoiding wounds, but not surrendering to them. Now, why does it feel like nothing works? It can be a turning point to look back at your actions and figure out what worked and what didn't. A shadow, however, fell upon mine, as it does on many trips. Alcohol, which used to be a once-in-a-while escape from the chaos of the world, became a daily necessity. It made the days and nights darker for me. In my daily life, I was drinking and hanging out with shallow people who only cared about drinks. Without drinks, there was no bond or relationship. It became hard to find happiness, and the relationships I cared about started to fall apart. When I was at the bottom of this cycle of self-destruction, the video about Stoicism that I talked about at the beginning of this text showed me this philosophy for the first time. That's when I understood what Stoicism is really about. That video signaled the start of a new phase in my life. I made the decision to change who I was and adopted Stoicism as my philosophy. This writing is meant to be the start of your new life. Leave a comment with "I will be a new person" and the date of today. Let's start a fresh start right now. I thought on my self-imposed jail and how alcohol abuse controlled my life, just as Seneca described how unchecked emotions can imprison us. I started my journey to sobriety after being inspired by the lessons of Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and other Stoic thinkers. I discovered the value of self-control, resilience in the face of hardship, and understanding that, while we can't control everything that happens to us or what people say, we can control how we react to these things so that they don't affect us. 2 or 3 years after this turning point, I have left the old version of myself behind. I'm thankful every day that I learned about Stoicism at that important time. I decided to change and be different 4 months ago, and I went 2 years without drinking a drop of alcohol. How long are you going to wait to change? This philosophy helped me find a real sense of freedom, value life, and be strong when things get hard. I am now in charge of my own focus and purpose, and alcohol no longer has control over my life. My goal is to share all of these teachings with you right now. Stoic teachings have been a light in the darkest and hardest hours, even though the journey hasn't been easy. Take a look at these ideas for learning new skills and adding changing practices to your daily life. Putting them into action from today, or rather right now, will put you on the path to full renewal and a clear, well-planned future. 1. Morning meditation time. Set aside a few minutes every morning to relax. Think about your experiences from the day before and picture how you want today to go. This will help you emotionally get ready for challenges and stay calm when things get tough. 2. Gratitude journal. Keep a journal where you write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. This helps you see the good in things and enjoy the little things in life. 3. Regular physical activity. Do regular physical activity. A healthy body was important to the Stoics. You can stay healthy by walking, running, doing yoga, or anything else you enjoy. 4. Principle of control. When you're facing problems, remember the Stoic principle that says you should know what you can control and what you can't. Then, make smart choices and accept what you can't change with calm. 5. Self-control. Work on being more self-controlled when it comes to eating, money, and time. Make goals that you can actually reach and keep working toward them. 6. Before going to sleep, reflect on your day's activities. Identify areas for development and planning as you evaluate whether you behaved in accordance with your values and Stoic principles. 7. Learning from inspiring examples. Read books or stories about people like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, who lived by Stoic values, learning from their experiences. 8. Detachment from other people's opinions. Don't worry too much about what other people think. Pay attention to your own morals and values and act accordingly. 9. Awareness of life's impermanence. Use the knowledge that death is inevitable as motivation to value life and make wise choices. 10. Spend time learning new skills or getting better at the ones you already have. In Stoicism, personal growth is essential for boosting courage to face difficulties. 11. Accepting the uncontrollable. Understand that what happens to you won't hurt you unless you allow it to. Neglecting the unpredictable makes you feel less stressed. 12. Value authenticity in relationships. Look for relationships based on values that are real and good for both people. 13. Daily reading of philosophical texts. Commit to daily reading of philosophical texts or Stoic authors, thinking on their teachings and application in your life. 14. Thoughts on death. Take a few moments to think about your own demise. This will help you put your daily worries in perspective and appreciate the time you have. 15. Developing positive self-respect. Instead of judging yourself for things outside of your control, approach problems with self-compassion and motivation. 16. Altruism and community involvement. Seek out opportunities to assist others without expecting anything in return, strengthening a sense of purpose and satisfaction. Remember that practicing Stoicism over time can transform your life and mindset, but it doesn't offer instant results. Remember that the obstacle is the way when facing difficulties. Look for learning and growth in difficulties. Keep your wants and emotions in check and develop emotional self-discipline. For your mental and emotional health, learn to empathize, control your bad urges, and set healthy limits. Stoicism is a strong path for human transformation. In conclusion, from this old philosophy, we've talked about a number of daily routines that can help you develop self-discipline, resilience, and peace in your daily life. It is important to write down everything important in this book, as this will help you grow. Some of the practices are morning meditation, kindness, and helping others. These give people the tools they need to deal with problems calmly and clearly. But the important thing is to act. It's not enough to know these ideas. You must use them on a daily basis, as Marcus Aurelius advised. Take the first step. Begin right now. Pick one or more of these habits and watch how your perspective and health transform over time. If you found this text helpful and want more advice on how to improve yourself and apply philosophy in real life, please show your support. We want to know how these practices change your journey of transformation and what you'd like to see more about in future books. Keep in mind that the path to a fuller and more important life starts with small daily actions and the constant application of Stoic principles. Have you ever faced a significant task in your life in keeping with the spirit of this channel? How might using Stoic ideas have changed your perspective or helped you in that circumstance? Please share your experience in the comments if you think this philosophy would have helped you in the past. Thank you all for always being there and helping. I hope you found this reflection helpful. Also, There are some important things you should start doing first thing in the morning if you really want to change your life. There's a video here for you. Be still and know that God made you.